Welcome to M&S, everybody. I'm Will.
And I got a haircut, but I'm still Matt.
And this is The Shifter.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.
Guys, it's Speed Weeks. And by that, I mean Speed Week. And by that, I mean Speed half a week. And by that, I really mean it's really unfortunate what they've done to our beautiful sport.
Hey, man. You want to know what else is unfortunate? I got pulled over again.
Are you...
So, guys,
For what? I swear to God, if you tell me you were speeding, I'm going to kick your ass.
I was not speeding. But I still am a dirty, rotten criminal. I was being a nice guy, you know. I was taking my friend Christian home from the work. He said I could use his name, by the way, so that's fine. But,
Thanks. I don't care about disclosure.
boys, book them. But, I was taking him home from work, and he decided that he was going to stare at a cop, kind of like this. The cop...
Ain't nothing illegal about that.
The cop then decided to pull me over, and I was like, man.
You what?
What did I do this time? I didn't say come this week, Will.
No, I said...
I know what happened last week.
That isn't even what I was getting at. I was literally I was amplifying the fact that I can't believe you've been pulled over.
So he comes to the window, and he says, I think he's going to say, can I see your license and or registration and or both? Because in the great state of South Carolina, you got to give them all three. Proof of insurance.
Don't remind me of what Matt did in that great state of South Carolina. You're going to get me all riled up.
But he looked at me, and he said, why the hell is he staring at me? He then did not give us a ticket or anything. He did check my license just to make sure I did not steal the truck. Because you know me, I'm a dirty, rotten stealer. I'm going to take it.
Steelers.
We don't talk about what Big Ben did to those women. Hey, man. So, yeah, that was funny. He didn't got an explanation from Christian. Christian, stop staring at people, okay? It's not cool. Speaking of women, by the way, because this is a great segue, it's Valentine's Day, so make sure you get your lady something nice. You have a lovely lady that you got to get something nice for.
I do.
If you don't have a woman like some of us on set, cuddle your pillow. Cuddle your pillow. Treat your pillow right. It won't talk back. It will always love you. It won't leave you.
It won't talk back? Wow.
No.
You see, that's really the problem with a guy like Matt. All he wants is what he gets. He doesn't care about the actual relationship, and that's why he's single this Valentine's Day. The joke is he's actually a really good, loving, kind guy. He's also pretty handsome. We could zoom in on him. Just saying.
Don't.
If anybody out there is interested, he really is a sweetheart. He makes his silly little jokes, but he's got a heart of gold. He's got a big heart.
I'm taken by the pillow. I'm being loyal to my pillow this Valentine's Day, like I just told the great people out there to be.
Ladies, at Daytona 19.
Don't bring up the Daytona 19.
By the way, spelled Doughnut.
Hey, isn't Truex single this year? Truex is single, right?
Are we making light of this?
I think I'll hit him up. I'll try to slide in those DMs with my Today Donut account. I'll change my name back. But the point is, treat your ladies nice this Valentine's Day.
I'm going to.
If you don't have one, that's okay. Just, take your pillow out to dinner. Do whatever you need to do. Maybe buy a stuffed animal. Regress.
Did you say regress?
You got this. Now let's get to the show before I continue to talk like an idiot.
It is officially Daytona 500 race week, and we've already done the prediction special and everything. By now, you probably already know who our picks to win are and things like
Denny
that.
Hamlin and Kyle Larson for every race, guys. And sometimes from William Byron. He sprinkled in some William Byron. My dad made that joke, too, without me making it.
I had,
12
different winners.
It just seemed like it was Kyle Larson and Denny.
Yeah, because you're a big old jerk. Sorry I didn't literally have 16 different winners and have to not have a points guy in the playoffs because I actually care about the health of this sport, damn it. Anyway, so it is officially Daytona 500 weekend. Let me tell you, we here on the show are excited. the horrors. Why didn't he side draft him?
My bad, man.
Why did he go to the bottom? Why did he have to get loose in front of Kurt? Why did he have to go early on the restart? Why did Dale Jr. have to cut a tire?
He didn't mean to.
Son of a bitch.
God.
Anyway,
Hey, Junior won 2 of them. He did.
yeah, and I'm happy about both of them, Matthew.
Especially the first one. You really like the first one.
I prefer the 2014 one. Anyway, so if you would just let us get on with the program. It is Daytona 500 week, and let me tell you, there's a lot to talk about. Mainly, the biggest story in not just the current Cup Garage, but probably one of the biggest stories of all time. Who the hell is driving that NY racing car?
All right, so by the time this comes out, there probably will be an announcement because I'm pretty sure it will come out on the day of the duels. If they don't have a driver by the day of the duels, we're in trouble.
Yeah. So that being said, if they have a driver, he will pop up here.
You see Robert Richardson Jr. right there? He's driving it. Or is it Donnie Newtonberger? Who is it? Uh-oh, Todd Cleaver.
I'm more of a Cole Witt enthusiast.
Well, Danny O'Quinn Jr. is going to kick your ass. All right, so who's going to drive
Get
this?
Stephen Wallace on the phone. No. Come back, please.
Hell would you talk about Stephen Wallace driving anything? I wouldn't even.
Oh, my God.
I wouldn't even trust that man to drive a Prius down the street to go get me some groceries.
I don't trust anybody driving
All right,
a Prius.
come on. Now let's give your predictions for who's going to drive this car unless he was right. Because, well, first off, we have to tell the story because they did not pay Greg Biffle for his driving in 2022, and that is why he is not driving
They
the car.
didn't pay him?
Yeah, that's why he's not driving. That's why his name's on the car. His name's on the hauler. They didn't pay him. They told him they were going to pay him before this race. They're not paying him. Obviously, being a retired guy, you're not going to drive for free. So,
Well, I didn't know that. So that being said, then, who actually would drive that car knowing what they did to Greg?
I think somebody that's desperate. I think somebody that's career's on the rocks. Maybe a very muscular Italian man. Picture of Matt DiBenedetto in his underwear right here. Matt DiBenedetto needs to call NY Racing and beg for mercy, but he's not going to do that because he's Matt DiBenedetto. But if he wants to save his career, he needs to call NY Racing and beg for mercy. Let me drive your car, is what he needs to say.
I don't necessarily think that – I feel like it'd be fairly easy for him to call NY and say, yeah, I'll drive the car. I don't really think it'd be much of a struggle for him to get that car. That being said, though, I don't think it's going to be Matt DiBenedetto. I unfortunately do think it's going to be Johnny Sauter, and I unfortunately do think that car will not make the race.
Wait, what do you mean? Johnny Sauter is a Speed Week legend, okay? You remember when he got the 83 Dessless Blastings Toyota into the show in 2015?
No.
Well, he did. Matt DiBenedetto drove that car the rest of the year, but Johnny Sauter drove that baby in the 500. And it performed very well. It totally did not crash, I promise.
So I'm putting you on the spot. Johnny Sauter's in that car. Is it making the show?
Kaz Gralla, Anthony Alfredo, Jimmy Johnson, and David Reagan will be making this year's Daytona 500.
Yeah.
BJ McLeod and Johnny Sauter will be going home.
Just picked my lip and it hurt.
Hurting himself on set. Get a load of this guy. We don't have insurance, Will.
Man, believe me, I know. But you know what we do have? A lot of other stories going into the 500. So we're just going to highlight a few drivers, pick and choose some interesting stories. And I think the first most obvious one is sort of the old timers, the people who have tried this race so many times but have yet to come away with the victory. I know you specifically wanted to highlight one of them.
So, bring it in. The year is 2016.
Yep.
The sexiest driver in the field is coming off turn 4. Dale, he is sexy. Your opinions don't freaking matter. All right?
Dale, it's okay. He gets a little...
And you know what? You know what? Jordan? Your opinions don't matter either when it comes to this. They matter when it comes to this guy. But when it comes
They matter in general. I'll
Shut
kick his
up!
ass.
When it comes to Martin Truex Jr., he is sexy. And we need a sexy man in victory lane to highlight this show. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of him losing. He's going to win this year. Can we please talk about Brad Keselowski now before I embarrass myself?
Honey, you already did.
Can't believe Jordan and Dale, man.
And I evened it back out. So, that being said, yeah, we'll talk about Brad Keselowski. Brad's one of those guys where legitimately I like to trick myself into believing that he has won one, even though, like, I know every Daytona 500 winner. But, I mean...
You trick yourself.
Yeah, my mind plays tricks on me.
Don't do that. Don't trick yourself. That's not good, man. Michael McDowell won that race, and you know it. Michael McDowell, Daytona 500 champion. Austin Cindric, Daytona 500 champion. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daytona 500 champion.
Bubba Wallace, multiple-time second-place finisher.
It's not about him right now. It's not about him.
Anyway, so Brad Keselowski always, by the way, also particularly strong just because I feel like the first 2 years of the RFK Alliance, they've been really strong in speed week half.
Yeah, I mean, they won their duels the first year.
Yeah.
Even when they were bad.
And I feel like am I crazy? They were fast last year, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I
I'm pretty sure
thought so.
Brad led the most laps last 2 years in the 500.
Did he lead the most? I think he did lead the most laps last year.
Yeah.
So Brad's a strong contender, but let me tell you, the best of the sort of haven't won it yet crowd is easily Kyle
Kaz
Busch.
Gralla.
Believe it or not, I was going to say Kyle Busch.
What? What? Man, why am I even on this show, man? Kaz Gralla is so much better. But go ahead, talk about Kyle Busch.
Look, I think most of NASCAR Twitter has seen the tweet, and it's a tweet. All right. So the last two Daytona 500s that ended in a 4, who won it?
Dale Jr.?
Driving in the first one, what car?
The 8?
And then in 2014,
The 88?
which contains
The 8?
2 8s, only 8s is what I was going for. And then in 2018, the race was run on February 18th. Who won it?
Austin Dillon?
Driving what car?
The 3 for Richard Childress Racing?
2007, February 18th.
Kevin Harvick for Richard Childress Racing in the number 29 Pennzoil Chevrolet?
Quite literally Dale Earnhardt's car. Kyle Busch is going to win in his 19th attempt because he didn't make the race in 2015 because he broke his leg and
Matt Crafton
physically
raced.
couldn't drive.
Why did they let Matt Crafton drive the thing? He did fine. But
I was about to say, why are you being so mean to old Matt Crafton? Actually, Matt Crafton probably deserves some
he
people
sucker
being mean to
punched
him.
Nick Sanchez.
Yeah, I was about to
man.
say, he's kind of a... Anyway.
What? Finish your sentence, man.
Kind of a jerk for that, man.
That was not what you were going to say.
Jerk, actually, legitimately is what I was going to say.
He was going to call him the B word.
No. If anything, anyway.
The B word.
No.
Beatrice.
Anyway, you stop that going into business for yourself.
What?
I don't know, man. I really do think Kyle Busch is going to win this race, not even just because of the 20 years of trying, and not even – I had this prediction locked in before I even knew about the sort of the superstitious part of it. How has he not won a Daytona 500 yet? Well, you know why, but
It was Brian Vickers' fault.
it actually was Brian Vickers'
Some son
fault.
of a bitch ran him right down the racetrack.
No, okay, genuinely, let's talk about 2009 real quick. If you're still in the, wow, Dale Jr. took out the whole field crowd, what are you doing? Brian Vickers is an idiot.
He also has a very weird relationship with a New York financier.
I'm sorry, his wife has a very interesting relationship.
He married her after. He knew about it. The New York financier?
Allegedly. We're not trying to get Brett
Well, they're
Favre
just trying
here
to
on the
get
show.
in the-
We're not trying to get Brett Favre here on the show, man.
They're just trying to
Throwing allegedly on there.
They were just trying to get finances, allegedly. They were trying to go to an island, allegedly.
He doesn't know what financier means.
On a plane, allegedly, with children, allegedly.
So also, I think somebody
Alleged.
going into the Daytona 500 that is looking for a pretty big bounce back is Chase Elliott, just because he was actually probably the strongest driver in the field last year, but missed so many races. And what better way to start a bounce back than to win the Daytona 500? Chase Elliott, also very strong at super speedways, has had some terrible luck in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I mean, last year you saw it at Daytona. He ran real well. The RFK drivers, I almost said people, were just too strong last year in that race for him to get into the playoffs. He's won a couple times at Talladega. I mean, he won an Atlanta race, which is a super speedway now.
Yeah.
I don't think I picked him because based on the fact that my favorite driver has won the last 2 years that ended in a 4. But to be completely honest, I don't think he'll win. But he will win multiple races this year. He will.
I agree. And also, I think NASCAR finally has like its true like main character. So we got to talk about Denny Hamlin.
3-time Daytona 500. Finally, you're talking about somebody who's won the race.
Yeah. First off, Denny Hamlin, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's one thing we have to establish off the rip. Another thing we have to establish is if Denny can win 4 Daytona 500s, all in the era where that race is as unpredictable as possible. Like, legitimately, I would compare winning 4 Daytona 500s would be like winning 4 playoff championships.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily like a level of magnitude, but level of difficulty to do. But it's crazy just because Denny is one of those few guys in the field where he has made super speedway racing a skill set. And I think Denny Hamlin, first off, I know a lot of current NASCAR fans probably hate to hear this. Denny Hamlin winning right now is actually probably the best thing for the sport because he is probably the one name that a non-fan or a casual fan actually remembers from Full Speed. Because, sure, like guys like William Byron and Christopher Bell showed, a little bit of their personalities. And I'll say, like, particularly for me, Christopher Bell was really endearing. And I think also I would really love to see him go on a tear after the stuff about the plans and everything. But Denny Hamlin was the main character of that thing, and he's the main character of our sport because he is the standout villain. You either hate him or you love him, and that is exactly what the sport needs. I will say very unfortunate that he is retiring the I beat your favorite driver thing because I love it, but got to do what old Dennis wants.
All of them. All of them.
All of them.
He's also all in this year. Have you seen the new T-shirts?
I love Denny. Those things don't look good, do they?
All right, on to the...
No, but I think a little bit of marketing behind this season and the run for the championship I think is really good for him, good for the sport.
Isn't Bob Parker's doing the 500 this year? Didn't I see that?
Coverage all flag.
So that being said, in a second we're just going to kind of talk about the 500. What do we expect the race to look like? But to be honest with you, you brought up that Bob Parker's thing, and that was really disturbing. I need something to put me at ease.
Is it my time?
Matt, it's your time. I need you now more than ever.
All right. Come in.
I'll just get out of the way. You.
Come in, children.
Come in, children. What?
No, we're not Brian Vickers. Allegedly. All right. So, I'm going to take you back to the year 2014 at the Daytona 500. No, I'm not going to talk about what you think I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about 50 Cent and his NASCAR team. A lot of y'all remember that, don't you? Yeah, and we also...
Yeah, just keep talking. I'm going to get out of the way for a minute.
We also remember what he tried to do to Aaron Andrews. We remember that, too. Allegedly. But 50 Cent had a NASCAR team, and that team, it was just so great. It was called Swan Racing. Originally driven cars by David Strimmy, but David Strimmy just wasn't enough for Mr. Curtis Jackson. No. He wanted real racers, real men, and he picked 2 of them, Cole Witt and Parker Kligerman. Parker Kligerman had a Muppet on his car, and Cole Witt had Speed Stick. And let me tell you, that car, not very speedy, but those 2 did make the race that year. And if you remember, Parker Kligerman did a flip in preseason testing. Yes.
I do.
Do you remember preseason testing, guys? We don't have it anymore. But Parker Kligerman and Cole Witt will go on to have a crash-filled 500. They would also go on to have a crash-filled season, which Parker Kligerman will not get to stick around. Guys, somebody please get Parker Kligerman a
He deserves it.
Ride now.
Drive the 44 car, Parker.
No. He's not as desperate as that muscular Italian man, underwear. But, Cole Witt did finish the season. The team did not stick around that much longer. But I'll tell you what, it was a moment in history. Aaron Andrews, I am so sorry for Curtis Jackson's actions.
Seriously,
Allegedly.
his behavior was despicable.
But you know who's not despicable? Michael Waltrip on the grid walk that day. He was beautiful. But thank you guys for coming to A Moment with Matt. Thank you for coming around the campfire, listening to these stories, and just tell your grandkids them because they're just beautiful. I love you guys. This has been A Moment with Matt.
He sure did say coming a lot. Anyway, so...
Hey, this is a family program.
Anyway, so obviously the Daytona 500 being this Sunday. Let me tell you, because I've said it like 3 times already, so I need to say, let me tell you, I'm going
Fox,
to play it up.
2:30 p.m. So Fox, go watch it. Only time I'll ever tell you to watch Fox. Go watch it.
Matt, just in simplest form, how do you expect this race to look? Who do you expect to be fast? Who do you expect to be not fast? Do you think we'll have a clean race?
All right. This is how this is going to go. The RFK cars are going to be fast. They're going to lead lots of laps. I think the Toyotas will be fast. Particularly, I think John Hunter Nemechek will have a grid run, actually. I just have a weird feeling. I think Bubba will be fast. Blaney will be fast. I think the Hendrick guys will be fast, but I think it'll be kind of like it is most years where they're up towards the front but just not necessarily leading. I think the Stewart-Haas cars will be there. I think Harrison Burton will lead some laps like he seems to do every year in the 500, oddly, and then crashes.
Don't you put that evil on me.
All right. We made a Talladega Nights reference. We're going to Daytona, Will. Not Talladega. Save it for the Talladega episode, huh? I'm sorry. But I think Johnny Sauter will D&Q if he drives. But I think we will have a clean first 2 stages. Stage 3 will become Stage 3. And then your Daytona 500 champion will be Todd Gilliland.
To be honest with you, I kind of see the race going about similar. I expect the Fords to be the class of the field. I think Penske and RFK are going to be particularly strong. Stewart-Haas will also be there. I'm not going to play into the bit, though. I actually do think at least 1 or 2 of the Stewart-Haas cars are going to be contenders, and I will say this much. If there is a Stewart-Haas car contending, it'll be Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
I feel really confident in that.
Oh, it would be a cool story if Ryan Preece won on the return to Daytona.
Yeah. But that being said, the only difference I have, because I also do think we're going to probably have like a fairly clean stage 1 and 2, and I think we're going to probably have a boring start to stage 3, and I do think it's going to eventually break down. We're probably going to have 2 or 3 big wrecks at the end. As much as I hate that, that's probably just the way the race is going to go. I just think we're going to have a winner that makes sense. Like, whoever wins this race is not going to be the
we need it.
The big-time outlier in the playoff field, because the last 2 years, the Daytona 500 winner has been like the worst driver in the playoffs. I don't want to say anything about Michael McDowell. I don't want to include him in that because I feel like obviously like he's racing in different circumstances back in 21. Michael McDowell does a lot better in his car than he should be able to do.
I mean, yeah, he made the playoffs again last year. Was not the worst driver. So
yeah, so but you could kind of throw him in with them, and obviously 2020 we just as much as the finish was good and we got a deserving winner, it was obviously a pretty dark, scary finish. 19 was...
What the hell was that?
I'm trying to remember. 19 was the...
I'm pretty sure that's the year Clinton Boyer spins, so like before the restart even happens, where they just... I think 18 and 19 are very similar at the end, where they just kind of break down.
Yeah, no. Yeah, 19, Denny Hamlin wins it in the 11 car for JD because there was the team strategy there at the end. 18 was a mess of a race where the winner wrecked the guy in the lead to win. 20 years of trying 20 years ago was awesome, but Austin Dillon kind of, wrecked Eric Almirola head on into the wall.
Please don't win again, Austin.
I have a weird feeling that Austin Dillon is going to be in the mix at the end. So anyway, I just think that we're finally going to get a finish that we don't come away feeling deflated, because that's how I've felt with the finish every year in the 500, honestly, since 2017.
Yeah.
So, and even then, 16 was the last finish where I came away like excited about it. I was happy for Kurt in 17, but like it was whatever kind of finish. So that being said, what do you think is going to happen in this year's Daytona 500? Who is your pick to win? We'd love to hear it down in the comments below. And quite frankly, we're just excited for NASCAR to be back. Super Bowl, son, that just means 1 week until Daytona.
Now he's going to put, remember guys, the white text right here. That rolled wheel. He's going to do it. It did roll. It was great.
Thank you. And what else was great is the fact that you guys watched this thing. Thank you so much. We really enjoy getting to do the show.
17 of you.
Hey, look, even if damn one person watches it, it's awesome to do this show, Matt. Matt's too busy getting caught up in the numbers.
1 second. I got yelled at this over the phone. Dad, I do love you. I love you, Dad. I'm sorry I didn't say it last week. I love you. You have to say it too, because we said we'd say it every week.
I love you, Dad. I actually didn't say I'd say it every week. I said you would.
So,
Idiot. You stupid idiot.
I don't like your tone.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week. That being said, I'm Matt.
I'm Steve.
And this has been...
The clutch?
The hell is this thing called?
The clutch? Or the pedal? The gas pedal? The steering wheel? The shifter.
See you next week on The Shifter.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.